That's quite the hype crossover. Thank you very much, Kyle. And of course, the desk for their continued support through this very long day. I'm sure the players are additionally. And whatever happens, Dust, this is the last map of today's proceedings. Regardless of which way it goes, we're going to have one team eliminated and one team moved to the next day of the tournament.
Woo! Let's go, Vince. Let's get it. You hyped?
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm quite tight. I'm running on fumes, but this is it. Second win coming in.
Yes, let's go. Woo! Let's get in there. Kneeling up close with the USP. A chance to multi-frag right now. Several crazy members are coming around the corner. He's good for one headshot, but that's going to be it, Vince.
That's beautiful. Norbert, in the meanwhile, on my screen, there's a massive ass crosshair on my screen. It's actually taking up the whole thing, but he's still going to land the headshot onto DemQQ. Tease a player up. Post-plant coming up, but he's going to get planted down from Psycho. And now Mo and Kios, last two players left alive, perched up at the backside of the site, looking to try and retake. As Sergis does get dinked down to 5 HP, somehow survives through that incursion. No idea what kept him alive. And now Mo is going to be pushing in with Kios. They're going to be lining up for the T's to come through. Those two taps are exquisite. And now Mo just needs one more to take this round and make it his, and he'll do it in style. The ex-major winner, or the major winner, I should say, the ex-major participant is going to come good for Syman, and the veteran will shine. 1-0 start for Syman in our all-important decisive map.
Yeah, let's go, Mo. 3K clutch. What's up, dude? Getting the 1v2 in the end as well. The veteran, as you said, major winner. Getting the scout out now. He's feeling good. He's got a scope weapon in his hands. He's ready to style on him. Crazy, though. They fought up what they could as well. A couple of Deagles, Tech 9, some utility, and they're looking to get fiery and feisty in the outer yard, Vince. They're already out there. They're pushing through.
They are pushing straight into Syman Gaming. That headshot is crisp. It is beautiful, and Neelan has been sent out of the round in style. The rest of Crazy going to be trying to push behind that, hot off the back of their nuke victory, a comeback. One stage was looking like it would be insurmountable, and yet here we stand. The youngsters proving to the world that they are good enough. Sensei and DemQQ also coming through with headshots, and are Crazy looking good to hold on to this post-plant. Big tap, though, from Cade. He had a very rough go of it on nuke, but is now stepping up with headshots left and right. There's another one from a 5v2 to a 2-on-2, and the kills all going the way of Cade, who is low. They're going to trade weapons. Scout crosses into the hands of Cade, allowing the M4 for Mo at his disposal, but this position is far too strong. The one kill goes the way of Toxic. He's been dealt with. The spray through the smoke should be good, and the clutch comes out for Crazy. They are going to make their plant work, and the economy for Syman is absolutely destroyed.
And now we're going 1-1, Vince. I don't know if we've had a game do that yet, but if we haven't, it's all on the checklist. It's done. Added to the list of all the things that we could have possibly experienced in Counter-Strike taking place today. The 1-1 split to start off the half has commenced. And now it's the Force Wars, baby. It's time to see who's going to tap out first, who's going to lose 2 in a row, who's going to be forced to walk around with those crappy Glocks or USPs only. We're not sure just yet. Syman, though, on just the Deagles and the one scout on Mo. Crazy, splitting it up all over the place here on the outer yard. Sergey's already tagged Mo through Ivy, and he's been finished off by DemQQ.
Neelan with one. Norbert putting that Deagle to use, and Sensei onto Neelan. It's back and forth. It's chaotic. Did you expect anything different, though? Today has been a real war, honestly, between all these teams. Like, I couldn't think of any better word, just war. I think that encapsulates things perfectly.
I thought a lot of them, but they were all inappropriate for stream.
Same. I had to censor myself badly, but I think we made it work. Cade, bit of damage onto Sensei, but eats a ton in return. Psycho could be wide peeking into a headshot. Solid frag. 45 seconds left, allocated to the T's. Another one from Sensei. Looks like they are going to be able to pick up the slack here. Norbert's position, though, is solid, but it's going to be a spin-around shot. They know where both of each other are, and the HP is pretty similar here. Sensei with the AK, though, comes out swinging, lands the frag, and Crazy take the lead.
Indeed, they do. The war ends pretty early as far as the economy race goes. Syman will have to go ahead and tap out and take a save, so it will just be USPs, you'd imagine, maybe a P250 here and there, but a great chance for Crazy to jump up to a big lead. And again, we saw that they had a very aggressive and effective T side on fours. I want to say they got like 11 rounds or something like that on their T side against fours in the first half of that game. They really put it to fours. It was mostly how they were able to push Olaf in through the lanes, and DimQQ was particularly the guy who was doing a lot of the entry work alongside guys like Toxic and Psycho. This time around, though, with the Deagles and the Scout yet again from Syman, they didn't tap out. They actually forced again. And they do get the opening kill, but DimQQ is quick to respond, only for Kios to be right back at them. And the Deagles are popping offense. I can't believe it. We might see a 2-2 split.
Impossible. Crazy getting around the backside of B, though. Toxic is lurking, trying to stalk his prey. His teammate is coming under heavy duress, but now can Toxic make the most of that opportunistic moment? No, he gets tagged down, and that should be the round will follow Syman. Their force buy is looking good, and it's going to yield. Actually, it's not even a force buy, more of a half buy. It actually comes out ahead in this encounter, and Crazy straight away put on the back foot one more time.
Boom. It's on.
I've been waiting for
What's
that.
happening?
They sunk the putt in disc golf. Boom.
No, I was actually singing.
Yeah.
No, I was making a rap song reference, but that's okay.
Rap. Omega lol.
You listen to some rap. Don't lie to yourself. What's that?
Grenade, though.
Oh.
Dem just got absolutely bodied.
Indeed, he did. Crazy the ones that had to tap out. They're just rocking out with Glocks out, Vince. You never want that to happen. It's never an ideal situation, especially with no utility either. I mean, basically, you're just water falling out ladder, hoping that you actually somehow get the bomb into the site and pray to whatever deity you believe in that you can somehow get that bomb planted.
Pray to Gaben himself, but
No,
it may
or
not
Gaben
get answered here, Dust. Oh, he just got it. Just in time.
Oh,
His
wow.
prayers were answered.
Not by Gaben, though. Gaben doesn't give a crap about this game.
True. Sad,
Real
true.
doesn't.
Which Kyle's loving, by the way. If you can hear this, he's got a big grin on his face. He's like, yeah, I'm a Dota 2 guy. Love that.
He's probably playing Dota in virtual reality, Gaben. With Alex sitting next to him or whatever. I don't know.
I've heard Alex is really good, but I haven't played it
is,
myself
probably.
yet.
Yeah, I don't care. The point is they still hate our game.
Well, here we have it. Strangely enough, we're going to have a grand total of 8 AK-47s in play.
Yes.
In rotation, which is not something you see too often, but Syman have taken some of those away from Crazy, of course, in the previous round.
Translation, it's a lot.
Yes. 8, I hear, is quite a lot of AK-47s.
Yes.
Just for Scout and M4. Indeed. That's an 80% Dust. Quick maths.
Yeah.
Easy. And now Neelan at range with the M4 is going to try and tap some heads. Psycho with one, Dem with another. They're keeping this fairly even, but the HP certainly anything but even. And now it's starting to ebb in favor of Crazy. There is a rotation coming out. Norbert's going to drop the bomb and go aggressively behind it. Does he anticipate the peak from box halls? Not quite, but it's not going to come through because he's waiting for Sergiz. There's enough time, 45 seconds. Crazy don't have to get overzealous. They can wait to chip in together, especially as Toxic only has 4 HP. But they don't have control of the bomb, so they can't sell any kind of a fake.
Yeah, that's the real problem. If they had bomb, they could do all kinds of things. And they could still make Syman guess where they're coming from. And so in such a way, that could be a bit tricky. But they both feed out. They do trade even. There still is some hope here for Sergey as he jumps into the site. Kios, though, has heard the pitter-patter of the feet here on the cement, and he will be able to line up the headshot there. So 4 rounds for Syman. They've won the last 3 in a row. They're starting to establish their defense here. The economy is starting to drain on Crazy. This is a round where they're just going to have Deagles, but we have already seen Deagles pack a big wallop in a couple different moments here on this very map. So don't put it past Crazy to do something a little wild, maybe a little crazy. And that time the pun was intended.
Got him. I was going to say Deagle's like a pocket rocket, but Deagles in real life are actually pretty damn big. There's no way you're fitting one into a pocket, so it doesn't really work, of course.
Even you have to have some really big pockets.
Good kills to start things off. Syman with 2. Keo has taken quite a bit of damage, or Keo's, I should say, not to get mistaken for Kiyoshima, of course. Very different players. And okay, tossing down the incendiary just to block any path of aggression for the pistol-wielding Crazy members. No utility either, so I mean, the only real way I can see anything coming out here is maybe if we get a mad 1-deeg from Psycho. Other than that, options are looking pretty slim, pretty bleak. And peeking into Neelan 1v1. Certainly not going to be what the doctor ordered. Somehow Sensei has got a Glock kill at range against Norbert, which is going to be a little bit disappointing from his perspective. But he's the only casualty, so he'll be fine with that outcome. 5-2, lead for Syman Gaming now, after a very disappointing T-half on Nuke. I'll be curious to see if they stumble and fall the same way on Train when the roles are reversed.
Crazy's already been fairly limited on their T-side success, something that they were really rolling over fours on, it felt like. So I'm a bit concerned for them that they're not really getting their acts together just yet. It felt like they were always able to be really assertive and outer. DimQQ was able to lead a lot of routes through Olaf and be able to get a lot of entries around Green Train and just really be able to dictate the pace of the game. And he obviously wasn't alone. He had a lot of help from Sensei's AWP. Toxic and Psycho also really were shining at different moments with their aim duels, but we really haven't seen that flow consistently. They had a couple of, moments on like anti-eco type situations. That's really been about it. And now we're seeing Syman be the aggressors. They're going to be pushing into T-Con. Getting a lot of intel. Cutting off a big portion of the map from Crazy.
Molly out onto main is going to give a little bit of free passage for Crazy to mix up their aggression should they so choose, but actually Norbert is taking that aggressive angle, still gonna backfire as a flash comes through, and is an important kill as well, by the way, because they were double stacked in main, including the AWP of Sensei, so that 1 kill could have become 2 if it was on the other side in favor of Syman, and now more kills coming out, the weaknesses being pillaged and filled in by T-side players, and now Syman only have Cade left standing in a 1v4. Chances of him clutching this very low. He wants to save if possible, and he's going to do that up towards the TV. With his M4, does have full utility. They can buy again if he's able to hold on to this, so definitely a worthwhile trade-off.
Finally Crazy able to get out there, especially considering that it looked like they might have a grim situation when Syman was getting up close on T-Con like that and denying that space, and it just all turned out for naught. Crazy was able to deal with that just fine. DimQQ with a couple of big kills, getting back to kind of what we were seeing him succeed with against fours. I'm curious to see if they can consistently do that, though. Like, I need to see them be able to kind of just utilize their game plan more and be consistent, because Syman have certainly asserted themselves already in this half with the couple of gun rounds that they've been able to achieve. So you need to see something more. And why do they keep doing that?
That's the second time today, isn't it? I've seen that happen.
Just throw the grenade somewhere else.
Very, very odd decision.
Is it like a slap on the back to everybody or something? Like virtually? Like, I don't...
Well done, guys. 1 round. Let's just tag everyone for 10 right off the bat. Brilliant.
Get the blood flowing. I mean, I don't really know. Either way, the aggressive angle with Mo's AWP towards inner is going to be fruitful. It finds Toxic. He's off the board.
Yeah, especially considering that the CT side has been getting some real stability behind it. To get a round back is pretty impressive, but then to lose the first player in the first few moments of the round is always going to cause a lot of mayhem and inner turmoil for Crazy. You have to try and isolate maybe one of these sites and get a pick and then try and transition into that. But you've got 50 seconds left, and there's still plenty of utility for Syman Gaming. Still everybody healthy. It was a free pick. Smokes being deployed, but this is a fake. This is a ruse. This is one way that maybe they can soften up an extra site by getting an over-rotation into play, but they've got to sell this fake. Psycho has to go out. And in the meanwhile, DemQQ shown his position, so any rotation has now been cancelled. Norbert can stay in the pop dog, wait for that plant to come in. There's no smoke, there's no safe passage, and Norbert is cleaning up the frag. Circus, though, does come back with one of his own. 18 seconds to spare. Norbert still in position to strike. It's going to be post-plant, but now he shows his hand. There's the spray, and it's a double spray alongside Cade. That is going to be a successful retake, and Syman Gaming proving that patience can indeed be a virtue, I should say.
And so no consistency will be there for Crazy. They've had their day, they've had their round, but now it's all gone. Just like you can't have your cake and eat it too, you know? Even though I've never understood that expression, ever.
Me neither. Why else would you have a cake?
I think it's because if you've already had the cake, then you can't eat it because you've already had it. That's the only way I've been able to logically figure it out. Well, that might not be it. And if that's not it, then I don't know what could be it.
Well,
it's like it's just an idiom of you can't have everything. Sort of deal.
Yeah.
I don't know why we got on that discussion.
Norbert can have the aggression and the kill, it would seem, but DemQQ is going to come back outside and does at least even the odds. Also putting a bit more pressure. They know that Norbert was last spotted in Pop Dogs. They are going to be cognizant of that position, but it seems like they forgot about this. Now Norbert's pushing through that smoke. He's going to be a bit more passive, a bit more patient. DemQQ sprays up through there. Maybe not anticipating a second player. Perhaps he is. Catches him out the corner of his eye. Transitions into a 4K. He's on for the ace, and Mo now from a pretty solid position on Ivy, if the two players on Pop Dog could stay alive, to now a very isolated, feeling like it's himself versus the world, and to a degree it really is. Also, there's an AWP facing his direction in the hands of the very capable Sensei, who will not be missing and teaches Mo a lesson. Syman Gaming 6-4 behind, or 6-4 in the lead, pardon me, but behind in that round.
I see what you did there, Sensei teaching them a lesson. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Did you intentionally do that?
I did.
Truly?
Yep.
Okay.
Me, if I was going to be the kind that would claim false stuff, it would have done the make sense thing, remember, from earlier today? It does feel like forever ago now.
Fire. Right? You should have claimed that one. That was so good.
So, the AWP for Mo.
Okay.
We have seen him go for this before on Nuke, and I don't think it worked then either.
What's that?
Where he gets the AWP and everybody else just has basically a save.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They did have like kind of a setup where they were kind of split to each side, thinking that whoever did cross was gonna be spoiled for choice and not know which target to aim at. And instead, the guy just said, "Nah, peace. I'm gonna get this one guy and get out of here." And then Mo couldn't trade with the op at all. So it will just have to be saved over into the next round. Nealon obviously doesn't really have much to lose here, so he'll stick around, but they will bodyguard the AWP over towards Ivy. Norbert will just be holding on to a deagle. And so it's fine, because if you save the op, you still full buy next round anyway, so it's really like no harm, no foul, and it gave you a weapon that could change the round. So if you're smart with how you do this, like solo op buy, it can be fine, but obviously if he loses the op, then he has no money next round. That could always be a problem. But it won't be today, Vince.
Yeah, certainly agree with everything you just said. The save is huge. Everyone else can buy now.
Yeah.
What a time for DemQQ to step up as well, by the way. 14 and 7. 117 ADR.
Yeah, and he's doing it from like essentially an entry fragger position. He usually is one of those first guys out in the outer yard, taking a lot of initial duels, and so if he's having a good game, that just makes everything easier for everyone else. They are again putting those smokes towards outside. They want to probably hit it hard and fast as they have so very often throughout today. Though there is some counter utility that is putting things to a bit of a halt, at least for now, but I imagine any moment they will strike. And indeed, here come the pop flashes, and here comes DimQQ again. He's hungry. And there's not enough food in the world for him, apparently, as he just continues to tear through the buffet line that is Syman Gaming.
DimQQ with an extra 2 kills, looking for more. As he is put down, but Sergey is going to pick up the slack. As you said, when the entry fragger is teeing off, it does definitely alleviate some of the pressure on the rest of the teammates. They can follow in and clean up the kills, be that second man in. Cade watching, anticipating the peak. It is going to come through, but not able to capitalize on that and pick up the frag. Now the 2 CTs moving in separate angles, but Cade wide swings into his death, and now Psycho spots Mo. They're going to try and cut this off. They have enough funds to justify taking the AWP away from Mo, who is going to come around the corner. Hell of a flick onto the head of Psycho, who looks like he may be able to hold on to the AWP, but he's going to do a bunch of economic damage on his way out, or perhaps not. Sensei at range from the pop dog is going to best the other AWPer, and 66, as we do have, unfortunately, a technical issue. Neelan called it the second he died, so I'm hoping it didn't have an impact on his life in that round, but it seems that may be the case.
Yeah, not sure, but he immediately fixed it, apparently, because he's already called for the ready back up, so we actually don't feel the effect of any type of pause. It's like Toxic and Psycho are just along for the ride, fans. They're both only at 3 kills. It's just been the Sensei and DimQQ show. Just been tearing it up. And now we do have Syman on just the Deagles. As there is some inner aggression here from OCZ, but it ain't gonna get anything. That was very Southerner of me. It ain't gonna do nothing. I mean, it was like a halfway. Like, I was still reserved, but I did still throw the word ain't in there. Which, I'm telling you, man, ain't is a great word that should be adopted by every culture because it's so much easier to say. Just like y'all. Y'all instead of you all. Dude, y'all is so much better, dude. It's just a great abbreviation.
This is something that we share, though, because both of us repress our natural accent while casting, right? This is maybe something that people don't realize. I feel like you definitely tone it down.
I think it's like word dependent. Even in just normal everyday life, it's word dependent. Certain words I have the draw on, and certain words I just never have. And I think it's because it's like a mix because I've spent like half my life in one place and half my life in another place, and so like I have this weird mixture.
That's fair.
But if you compare, like most people from the South don't know I'm from the South. Only people outside of the South know that I'm from the South, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because the people who live in the South, their accents are way heavier than mine, even when I like kind of let loose a little bit. But I'm telling you, the whole world needs to adopt the word y'all, or abbreviation y'all. It's great. It's great shorthand.
Oh, no. How's Mo missed that? That's cost his teammate his life. If he gets that clean, I think that's just a complete sweep, but still gets the second frag. Neelan's waiting outside at smoke, bodyguarding his teammate, also on Pop Dog. A great start from Syman, but it is going to be cut short. The kill streak comes to an abrupt end, and it's Psycho that stands over the body of Mo, muttering to himself as he pushes through the smoke. There's another entry. He's on the warpath. He's on a killing spree, and Syman Gaming cannot afford to let this round slip. They're eyeing up another poor CT side. We have yet to see a strong CT side today on train.
Yeah.
And Crazy now going to have another post plant, and it's Cade in a 1v2.
He doesn't have a kid either, Vince. I don't know if there's one fallen somewhere. There probably is. He's got to worry about these kills first. Psycho's at least low. That gives him some opportunity if he can find them, but taking his sweet time.
I was getting scared there for Psycho because he only had 5 bullets left in his magazine, and I'm thinking the worst there, that if his teammate dies, are we going to see like an epic failure? No. No, we're not.
Nope. Last round of the half. Crazy have had quite the recovery. Remember, they were down at 1.5 too. And they've won now the last 5 rounds in a row. A great chance for a 6th, as there's only 3 FAMAS and 2 M4s out there. No kits, very limited utility. No sniper options for Syman, with just the rifles. Aggression at inner halls yet again from Mo, and it's the same old result. Getting straight bodied.
I have so much respect for how crazy have weathered all of these storms today and all of these comebacks, and it was looking like things were just going to start to slip and ebb away. We're discussing a lack of experience on this team, but maybe with that lack of experience, there's almost like this youthful ignorance. And I say that in the best way. Ignorance obviously has a pretty bad connotation, but sometimes that ignorance just allows you to free yourself up from any preconceived notions or having any real stress or any issues with it, and you just press forward, you play your own game. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is just this comfort that you're seeing from Crazy, playing aggressively, taking the fight to Syman, and typically winning their duels.
Yeah, I don't think I could really sum it up any better. I think that's spot-on analysis for the identity of Crazy today, and showing us that mechanical ability and showing us that potential that they can develop more and more as they get deep here on these inner choke points, and they are cleaning up all hopes and dreams of a retake in this round. They didn't get any space whatsoever. A flawless victory to finish things off from Crazy. A 6-round stretch. 19 kills from DimQQ, 14 from Sensei. Even a couple of the others started to wake up a bit as well towards the end. And they have put themselves in great position to knock Syman out of this tournament. I will say, though, their CT side was a bit labored, even against 4s in the victory. It did take some extra effort, so they need to clean that up a little bit against Syman.
Absolutely. Plus, as we've highlighted, DemQQ, most of his kills have just been through ruthless aggression. Can you feasibly post up that same aggression on the CT side? It might get punished a lot harder. That's a big grenade as well from Psycho, though. And actually, that grenade is going to stall him long enough, plus Neelan getting ground down off, that they can actually feasibly go for the A hit instead. Neelan going to get 2. Syman Gaming making a go of this. The second pistol could very well fall in their hands. And it doesn't really seem to matter that that opening grenade chunked through multiple players. It's now a 2v4, and I'm not sure that Crazy actually even want to go for this. They have a CZ, they have a Kevlar to potentially save and to run back with in the next round.
Yeah. Again, against 4s, they had 11 rounds on their T side, so 2 more than what they have now, and they allowed 9 rounds from 4s before they finally closed. So there were some cracks in their defense, and there are cracks showing here on the pistol round. But again, it is just a pistol. They do have a lead. They have some cushion. There's nothing to be alarmed by if you're Crazy. Not yet. But that does wonders for Syman's mentality, I'm sure, to have given up 6 in a row at the end of the first half after having a pretty big lead, but to be able to come out and get pistol and know that you're right back in the race right away, not allowing Crazy to build up some type of fantastic lead early on in the second half. They're going to, of course, buy off the back of that. A Galil already out for Norbert, AK out for Neelan. Norbert is the one that actually did have some early struggles, but he's woken up. He's at 14 kills now, so that is great news. You feel like it's got to be him and Mo in tandem to push Syman through.
Sensei with the flick, just narrowly missing out on the frag. Would have been the dream start to this round, and potential another force buy. I kind of wish we'd kept the counter going for every time a force buy is successful. I feel like we've had at least 6 or 7 times now today.
You mean this whole day?
Oh yeah, we've had plenty.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
Bruh. We have casted hundreds of rounds of Counter-Strike today, and you think there's only been 6 or 7 successful force buys?
Well, it's kind of magnitude, like the Eagles and the Scout. I would say probably 6 or 7.
Okay.
Am I wrong? I mean, if you think it's more, than by all means.
More than that. Nah, I don't know. I don't care, really. This is not the hill I'm willing to die on, you know, like as far as debates go. I'll let this one go. You can have it.
Thanks, man.
Just like
appreciate
you have chess
that.
forever. I'll never play you again in that either. There's just certain battles that you pick and choose, right? And I feel like I'm choosing mine pretty wisely here. Will Crazy be able to do the same with these Eagles and Scout is the real question, to pose a threat to Syman early. So far, an early exchange does make them a little bit dangerous.
It does make them dangerous, but that danger is starting to subside with every passing kill, every passing bullet. Time, though, is a bit of a nuisance, but a big kill on Ivy, locking down that area of a pursuit or potential aggression. Had that have gone the way of Crazy, actually, it could have denied the bomb plant a little bit longer, and that's where things get really sketchy for Syman. So an important frag on Ivy, and now they should be transitioning into a 9-8 score. Looking to try and save the Deagle alongside the Scout with a bit of Kevlar, but it does seem again that, of course, it's early days on the CT side, but we're also in the back of our mind remembering that earlier game against Fours. The CT side was the weakness. It was definitely the liability, and we're starting to see a couple of those little cracks developing under Syman's pressure. Looks like Toxic will be able to hold on to his deal. Shot out a bullet, but it's not really a worthwhile trade. A potential rifle for a Deke. May as well just keep the Galils and the AKs going through. Add the Mac-10 into the arsenal. You're good to go for aggression. You're good to go for the longer haul as well. Knowing that Crazy won't have a great deal behind this Deagle and Scout, just play it smart. You don't need to rush into anything here if you're Syman.
Certainly not. They should have a tie right there waiting for them. It's just 3 USPs, a Deagle, and a Scout. There really shouldn't be too much trouble for them unless they run into some type of trap or stack or something along those lines. Oh, yes, please. Yes.
It's DemQQ again. He's fed you all of his use kills today. I swear. It's him. He's made a fan out of dust, that's for sure.
Might be soulmates.
Nice USP taps as well. Norbert low, Cade low. Well within the range of the rest of these guns.
I do feel like my level of excitement over those kills is really unreasonable, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's just my natural, just like feeling.
There is something very satisfying about hearing the Zeus kill sound, honestly. Yeah. You definitely voice acted that. I'm going to hold on 100%. To that forever. Yep. Did you do it for free, though, or did you charge a rate?
You think Gaben pays for anything for Counter-Strike from people? No. I'm just kidding. Obviously, there's a big community support for map makers and stickers and skins and stuff like that, so yeah. No, I'd be down to do like a voice pack. With them again. Yeah, I'm down to do a voice pack. Pay me the dough. I'll say Yole noobs. I mean, whatever you want me to do, man. Just give me that cash. Whatever you need. I'll actually say it this time. That's the funny thing. For money, though.
Anything for dollar bills.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, Psycho's gone down.
We're all tied up, Vince. We got to the point we figured we would. But now what happens from here? The buys are coming up from Crazy. Go on.
This is huge. I was going to say this is the fork in the road, I think, of this matchup now. It's 9-9. Both teams have full buys. Both teams have pretty much it all on the line. Obviously, economically speaking, Crazy have invested more. More's at stake. Yep. But
and 2 roads diverged to the Yellow Wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that made all the difference.
I'm going to say yes.
You don't know that poem?
Nope.
God, that's such a famous one. Robert Frost?
Nope.
All right, well, you uncultured swine.
It's true.
I actually probably misquoted it too. I don't think I said it exactly correct, but it was something along those lines. Something very close to that.
I'm sure Twitch chat will be scathing you if you did misquote it and someone knows.
I probably got a word or two wrong. Of course, that was only the last stanza of the poem. There's a bunch before that, but anyway. Away from poetry into Counter-Strike, as Toxic is perhaps going to be gifted a frag here from Nealon, and indeed he will. That smoke did not do Nealon any favors. And they're really building off the back of that, as Psycho and DemQQ's also chipped in, as they're on the lead here for the race double digits first in this map. And it doesn't seem like anything can stop them. Syman is only but a distant figure in their rearview mirror as far as the race to 10 goes. No, just trying to save an op. Next to good old Lennon.
If you can't hold on to the AWP, then maybe Syman will have a bit of firepower which to utilize going into the next round, but Crazy will be leading again. That spree of wins coming to an abrupt end has been derailed, and now with a save though, they can buy. Sensei is speculatively peeking towards T-Spawn, but he's not going to overextend. He knows that their finances are in a little bit more sketchy position, so hold on, allow Mo the opportunity to keep the AWP. Play to your own strengths rather than try and weaken the opponent in that case. And Crazy with a 10th round. It's looking like Dust, final map of the day, may very well go the distance as well. And it would be a fitting conclusion to today's proceedings. I'd be fine with the outcome.
Might as well. How many overtimes do you want, Vince?
Well, we already had, what, 3 or 4 earlier today?
4.
So,
5?
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, Nealon nearly the spray through the smoke, getting him a second kill, and now Toxic comes in. They line up for him, misses out in the shot. Sensei pulls out his AWP. He's pushing through. The Molotov is kneeling. What a play from Nealon. The audacity to go aggressive through there and pick up the final 2. Not a play that Crazy were anticipating, and Syman Gaming straight back in with a victory.
Tit for tat, Vince. 10-10, and Crazy reeling from it as they cannot afford a whole hell of a lot into this now. They have to just hope and pray that they can make the Deagles and Scout work, or if Psycho can get aggressive with the CZ and inner halls. It's the same result as when Mo tried it in the previous half. Absolute shutdown. Syman, 3 kills in the blink of an eye, essentially. Just the Scout and Deagle left now, and the Scout's already been discovered inside Heaven. Does get the headshot, though, through the wall.
Oh my, how's he done that then? No idea. Through the wall, into the cranium, but Sensei tagged, fragged, and body back. Syman Gaming 11-10, regaining the lead. Crazy's, well, I was going to say streak, but it's actually just a blip on the radar, isn't it? And it was over pretty fast. They can buy again. No more money in the back pocket, though, and there it is. The good old technical issue.
Oh, my FPS is bad. Conveniently at this important moment. I'm just kidding.
If you're very well said, feel free to tweet them and all of your love and praise.
Feel free to make Reddit threads about it, critiquing me, and never let me forget it for the next 2 years. And then we'll be all square.
I listened to this caster called Dust Moret, and 16 hours into his broadcast, he made a mistake. What a scrub. Never hire him again.
Yeah, that's about right. Why can't we just get the Circle Jerk thread instead, where they say, Dust and Vince are the best casters I've ever heard? What do you think about that? That's good. I want that to be the title of the thread.
See,
what do you think about that?
Maybe this is counterintuitive, but I always find those threads like a little bit, I don't know.
You shut up, Vince. We want one.
You asked my opinion.
I don't care about your opinion.
Don't ask me then.
I didn't. I just said, why can't... I said it rhetorically. Why can't we have... I didn't ask your actual opinion. You can have your opinion about this round, though. Go ahead.
I think that Syman Gaming will win this round, Dust. That's my expert analysis. Over to you.
I think Crazy will win the round. That is my expert analysis. Back over to you.
Okay. Okay, all right. I see. Syman Gaming clumping up on Ivy. 3 players there. Smoke in their eyes. So they're going to have to play it a little bit more passively. But at least you'd think they will. Now, we have seen this boost before over the smoke. Does allow you to peek over the smoke in towards the Ivy side. It has already yielded a kill earlier today, but there's going to be no kill forthcoming because none of Crazy players are interested in going for that peek. So it ends a bit of a stalemate, but there's still 3 players isolated over there with time at their disposal to push through, and it's only Sergis who is up against them. He's also not up on the green train. Many players will actually occupy that position. It gives them the view over the smoke, but that's not going to happen. Flashbang comes through. Now, they already knew one player at least was over on Ivy, but now Norbert has laid down the law from towards the Pop Dog area, and is going to force out this rotation momentarily. Now they're realizing that the B-side hit isn't coming in. They're going to traipse those 2 two players through connector. Still, CR4ZY alive on the green train, but just the one kill going to be forthcoming for Crazy. And with 30 seconds left on the timer, it's a 2v4. The odds are stacked against them. The House of Cards starts to come down, and it is a complete sweep, barring Kioz's life, a 12-10 lead to Syman.
Looks like your opinion held true, Vince. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Would you like to be the color caster now, and I'll be play-by-play? Because
My
clearly,
voice is so wrecked. Have at it.
I'm just messing with you.
Let's have some expert play-by-play casting. Let's go.
This is a shit eco round. Like, I don't want this.
The bull.
Do have an outer stack though. We will mention that. They tried, I think, to go a little nade action there. Didn't really pan out. Now they're trying to pop flash a player in, but that's just not going to work as defense. It should be a mop up at this point. Should be in the keyword. And there it is. It's being taken care of.
There was a chance there. There was a glimmer.
Yeah.
You know? They were up on the train. I thought it was going to land a headshot, and then things get a little bit spicy. But instead, it turned out to be as mild as me. I can't stand spicy food. I am so basic and vanilla with spice.
Or just generally speaking, very basic and vanilla.
It's true.
I don't know. You're a very cultured man. You play bass. You like different kinds of music.
I'm
you
not
enjoy a lot of
play
shows on
Bane.
well, you're a musician. You play games. You're a commentator. You like long strolls on the beach. You're a bodybuilder. I mean, you're very talented. You're a very diverse human.
Should get you to,
So I wouldn't
write.
think it's mild.
What's the thing people use for dating?
Oh, you write an amazing fan fiction. You do great YouTube videos about being grumpy.
This is getting weird, Dusk. Can you just call me bad again, please?
No, you're the best. Love you, man.
Oh.
Apparently,
Came
since they
for the
loved that bomb
thing.
a little bit too much and sat on top of it.
Yeah, it's never advisable, is it? I hear
No.
explosions typically hurt, so maybe stay away from the explodey thing, but, you know, whatever. Each to their own.
Yeah.
So, tactical timeout deployed on Crazy. 3 rounds away from being knocked out on this WePlay tournament, playing no further part in the road to the major.
Which would be sad. Like, I hate to, usually I'm very just don't care, but I've really enjoyed watching Crazy play today. And no matter what happens from this point forward, I think it'll be interesting to kind of follow their futures as individuals and as a team as a whole, too, because definitely seen some bright moments from them, definitely some individually talented players on this team. And this is kind of their big chance right here and now. This is their full buy. If they lose this, I feel like Syman are on the road to victory at that point. Not going to be much that Crazy will be able to do about it at that time. So this is, if there was ever going to be that moment, it's got to happen here.
You'd think if this round doesn't go their way, the curtain begins to, descend a little bit on what would be a pretty impressive few performances, and that's a wall bang from Sensei nearly with the kill, so close.
Oh boy. Definitely was on the mark, no doubt about that. He's done significant damage here to Kato. Utility, DimQQ's going to finish him off, and so Sensei will know that he's done his job to do the damage with the AWP. If it wasn't for the frag, he still had impact there. Now the rest of Syman seem to be gathering up over towards inner halls. We're going to start throwing utility in, a good angle being held, but Norbert didn't have any of that. And while he's falling, I thought he might just get Toxic. Toxic does at least spare himself that, but is still traded, and a 3-on-3 post plant will now commence.
Solid frag as well from DemQQ. Does open up business for a potential retake. CR4ZY is still alive, being the pivot point for the rest of his teammates. And he's also neutralized, nullified Neelan, Mo. All of that experience behind him. He's been here so many times. He's going to have to put that to use, though. He knows a lot's on the line. He'd love to get to another major. Sensei with a flashbang up on the catwalk. The smoke's not great. There's the secondary smoke, though. They're going to be sticking the side. Mo coming round the side, tagging but not fragging. And there is enough time for Crazy to get the defuse plus pick up both ops.
If he gets like one more pistol bullet in there, he stops the defuse, and I don't think there would have been enough time for the other player to get on top of it. That was really down to the wire, actually. Great attempt from Mo, but Crazy do get the round that they desperately needed to stay in the mix on this final map of the day, this map 3 of the elimination series here in this group. They need every round they can get. Utility pouring in a fast outer take here from Syman. No time wasted, but Sensei through the smoke finds opening blood.
Q, big kill with his secondary AWP. He's been a bit quiet on the CT side. What I feared actually kind of came to fruition. With the aggression taken away, he's not fragged as well. A very different role on the CT side, but there's Sensei. Looked like he should be picked off. A very low 22 HP around the corner. Must have been a rapid shot, but Neelan is going to counteract with the AK. And was a way forward where I thought Mo had actually caught the foot of the CT player just around the corner, but it wasn't the case.
No. Now Syman forced to back off. They still do have bomb control. And they have a lot of time on the clock. And they have a couple of players on Crazy softened up. So a little bit vulnerable in a couple of those guys, but they definitely also had the money to go for it. I mean, no doubt about that. Plenty of more money on Neelan as well as Norbert and Cade. So buying into the next round, not going to be a huge problem. Now, if they lose like one more guy, maybe Mo wants to say the AWP, but I think until then, they can try to maybe take a bit of a crack at it, as there is only one player really kind of watching the inner side. So them being able to cross and get the bomb plants is actually a pretty high probability, but they don't actually have the smoke to drop down, so they kind of have to just jump across, and they do make it. And they will get the bomb down, but the CTs are very quick to rotate for this retake.
Bo does get the one, does give Neelan a chance, but that chance has been snuffed out. And Sensei, with his third of the round, picks up his 21st overall. And Crazy with their 12th. One round behind. Another bomb plant does afford a full buy from Syman. And this game, every bit as close as we thought it would be.
And good on Crazy not only to win, but to do so pretty clean, only losing 2 players, saving both the expensive weapons and the AWPs, keeping that in play. Honestly, that wasn't something I really feel like I saw very much against Fours. I didn't really see them do double op, especially not with Dim QQ being one of them. So kind of a slightly different look. Obviously, it's a part of the CT meta of trying to run double op a decent bit. Plenty of teams do it, but this wasn't something we saw Crazy really do a lot.
Now Crazy with the last 2 rounds, 2 defusals, is putting a bit of pressure back onto the shoulders of Syman. A very similar outcome to their game against Fours. They had a solid T-half, and the CT side never really looked like it built up enough steam.
No.
Could double ops be the answer? That's a hefty grenade in the pocket of Cade. Maybe a bit too tentative, maybe a little bit too nervous on that peek from Sergey's. Look for information, wasn't worth the cost of his life. An incendiary planted down, it's solid, but it's not going to have much of a sell-by date, and now it's been extinguished, and Kios is going to take the initiative and look to try and force his way through onto the CT side of Ivy. That's the bomb that's dropped alongside it. Sensei goes for the peek, but Mo goes for the wide swing. Kios now making his presence known, takes a dink from range, but it's from Toxic, who is now encircled by T's, encircled by aggresses, and stays alive longer than I was anticipating, but it's still not going to be good enough from Psycho's perspective, who finds himself in a 1 versus 3 and in no great shape to even try and go for this or attempt it. He's going to have to save the M4, and that's going to give Syman a 14th round.
Yep, and they'll be 1 step closer to the map and series point because of it. It's a good thought from Sensei when he heard the extinguish to go for the crossing op shots, and he did find one, but Mo, very wise to kind of hold back and make the immediate trade, and once that op was denied from being able to rotate to help with the retake at inner, it was just too much for Toxic and company to handle. They were just getting boxed in from multiple angles, and just too many spots to be responsible for at once, just get overwhelmed. And Cycle actually does find the op and is able to save that over instead of an M4, so that's going to be great news for Sensei, who's definitely been a big breadwinner for the team, him and DimQQ. And now they need everything to work even more. Money is low. They can buy around this AWP. Sensei certainly is going to get dropped the op. He can drop an M4. They can definitely do some rifle, utility combinations here. Probably going to include some FAMAS if they want to get utility. But it would basically be last chance saloon. Like, if they don't make this work, then the money that they would have and then following round would just be so very low. So they need to really maximize here and now. 2 FAMAS, MP9, op M4. Decent utility. They've got to make the run here.
They might literally make the run because Sergis has a great spawn and he also has the MP9. So I'm really curious if this is going to be him just rushing straight into ramp or trying to play aggressively. And it does look like he's going to go for some aggression right here in towards Ivy, throwing the incendiary. He's not going to push behind it though. So they decide better of that option. And fair enough. Everything's on the line right now, Dust. This is probably the most important game that most of these guys have played.
Oh, absolutely. Being in the running for a major slot, definitely big for such a brand new team. Syman in their own right, a brand new team, though certainly players that have more experience than the crazy guys individually. So we are going to see some utility being poured out by Syman into the inner yard. They're not going to do a hard commit behind it just yet, but now here comes the push. And Toxic's got to get a move on, but he doesn't get out in time.
Now that's a burn, and that's awkward, but Psycho gonna wipe away the cobwebs with the M4, exterminating the oncoming vermin from his perspective, but Mo gets Sensei in midair, and a 3v3 falls upon us. DemQQ is the player that could be going for the flank, and Norbert is up to the task. Post-plant going to be coming up momentarily. Already Sergis playing up close on the site with the MP9. They actually are going to go for the plant. They're being a little bit more tentative with this. It is an arduous task to get the bomb down. They know momentarily they're actually a player behind effectively. And now that AWP comes out, and Sergis has been laid out of the 27th round. DemQQ with the flank. Now going to show his hand, but he's going to go down straight afterwards. Comes down to Psycho. 19 HP to his name, and 3K already for Mo. And there's the flick across. He saw the shadow. It betrayed Psycho. And now Syman Gaming have 3 match points.
That's just Mo taking the gamble. It could have very easily gone differently if he went all the way up the ladder on top to try and kills Mo for free. But like you said, the shadow was spotted. He knew that some type of crazy maneuver was taking place. He was able to just be patient under pressure and land the shot. That's just that veteran experience serving Mo well there in that situation. It does put, like you said, Syman at map and series point. Crazy have fought valiantly all day long, but their journey might finally be coming to an end. They buy up what they can this round, but it's certainly lacking in a lot of areas. They'll do what they can, though. DimQQ trying to put pressure in ladder room here with the FAMAS. Sensei just cracking off scout shots. He's done damage. Mo down to 1 HP.
Yeah, no instantly going into defensive formation. 1 HP, 1 stray grenade, 1 stray bullet, he's dead. He cannot afford that at such an integral moment in this game. And so he is going to dip out of there. That is systematically going to make Syman a little bit more passive. And DemQQ goes in aggressively. The 2-man peak is going to get the AK-47 in the hands now of Crazy as they look to push forward and make this advantage sing for them and keep them going in this best of 3.
Yeah, they definitely have put themselves in a position where it's more possible. As it is a triple Ivy play from Syman. Looks like they want to split the inner bomb site, which they did have success pushing back halls earlier. But now Sensei is going to be playing up close with the FAMAS rather than back towards bomb train with an AWP. So that could be the problem. It is going to be an equal trade, but he also gets the information, which is critical. And there was already a man advantage for Crazy, but Norbert picks a great timing on upper side of inner. But Psycho still remained an outer the entire time, catches both low health players, including the bomb carrier, all on Norbert now. He's been great individually, but he's so far away from this bomb that no amount of extra frags he gets on the end of this is going to matter much. Crazy will indeed push the 13 Vince. They do just hold on.
just about hold on. Time coming to their aid when it really counted. And Syman just weren't quick enough. Both players low, DemQQ 5, Psycho 46. And they will both retain their weapons, as will Norbert. Alongside him, Mo on 7.3k. They could justify going for a buy, but because there's going to be the full 30 rounds, they may just hold fire and go for more of a half buy here instead, and thus the timeout. They want to make sure they're all on the same page. They make sure they have at least all of the options open and available to them. Have a discussion and figure out what the best course of action is going forward here into round 29.
Not a bad idea to take the extra timeouts. They haven't used a timeout yet this game, so definitely might as well here and now. You don't want to allow this to go to overtime. You don't want to have to worry about the extra rounds if you're Syman. You've played a pretty damn good T-side all the way through. You've let some rounds slip here and there, but they've never allowed more than 2 rounds in a row from Crazy. Crazy would need 3 in a row from the previous round and onward to force the overtime, which would be the biggest streak they would have had all half in regulation if they were able to pull it off.
So they have gone all in, as you highlight. That wall bang so close. Cade living on the edge. Yeah, indeed. But they keep going into the same position, so he may as well keep going. Psycho with the wide swing, and Norbert completely alone. Lost at sea. That's a freebie of a kill, and especially considering that Syman went all in on this. This is not the time to be giving free kills across to the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just set up there to be watching for pushes. That's really his only job at the early moments of the round. DemQQ somehow getting a kill on his way to the grave in the fire. That is really incredible. That keeps his team at a man advantage rather than Syman equaling the odds. So much impact to be able to pull that off. And again, Syman and the dying embers of the round will look to go towards Triple Ivy. It failed them last time. But there also is no direct defense in the back hall. So if they smoke the right side and actually get back there and set Mo's op up, he could potentially tee off on someone. But Sergey might also be able to peer over it from Green Train.
And because of the element of surprise, they can't really afford to throw grenades out beforehand. They just need to get the raw entry there. We have it, 20 seconds to go. Damage inflicted to Kios. But Syman Gaming march onto the side. Bomb going to start to get planted. There's no play down in Pop Dog yet, so the plant will be forthcoming. And now Toxic's going to move into position. There's the first. He's going to be able to quell and punish the oncoming tees. And Mo joined alongside Neil. And it's a 2v1. What a shot onto Psycho. And Sensei 1v2 now has to try and retake. He has no kits, no grenades. This is looking very rough. He's now just picked up a kit and a HE, so at least he has something to work with. He can see a slight gap in the train. Going to be tossing the grenade behind that. Not going to claim the kill outright, and that may be his chance that goes with it. He's going to try and stick onto the bomb, and there's the wide swing. Syman Gaming gonna get it done. They're going to move through to tomorrow, and unfortunately, this is where Crazy's journey comes to an abrupt end.